Welcome to Akashic Enlightenment. Welcome to the community. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to start it off as usual with some breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Smell that? That's love rippling into the Akashic records. Today, I want to talk about karma, the higher self, and how to make the ego work for the higher self instead of itself. The ego is past and future worries. If we can fixate the past, present, and future to work for the present moment, we will acquire our higher self in the now. This is whenever you start putting your busy mind to acquire knowledge like wire wrapping crystals, being a carpenter, an artist, a musician, and putting your time into that, and your higher self and your ego will work together. But if we're distracting ourselves all the time with needless things that don't need to be in our life, that distract us, TV, pornography, unhealthy habits, these things keep us away from the higher self and feed the ego, feeling as if you're the shit. This is ego. This isn't higher self. The ego is working for the ego, not the higher self. What it looks like whenever the ego is working for the higher self is whenever you're accumulating knowledge and that memory and then applying it at your own pace that is beautifully placed for you in your journey. Whenever we place ourselves in the now and work towards our goals, they manifest quicker because you're not sitting there, I am this, I am that. You're actually doing it, and your brain will follow your body's momentum and you will manifest. Karma is action. Karma shouldn't be looked at in duality, good and bad. Karma is just a lesson here to show you through stress our liberation, freedom, anger, envy, jealousy, happiness, joy, bliss. All this is karma. And we shouldn't look at our karma that we go through in day to day as good or bad, but as it is. Whenever I see my day, it is not a good day or a bad day. It is just what it is. The more we accumulate this karma and we just go through it step by step, not looking at it as good or bad, we acquire a higher state of consciousness because these lessons are perfectly placed for our body and knowledge, our memory bank, the Akashic. Being more joyful and having fun with your friends is whenever the ego starts working for the higher self, because you laugh more. You can die tomorrow. Be here and now. Enjoy some beautiful people. Laugh with people. Instead of looking at a room like I do housekeeping, instead of looking at the room like, oh, these people that and this, why they use this and that, I'm like, man, they must have had a really good time and had some beautiful laughing experience inside this room, and I clean it. This is how I deal with my karma. Your vasana is the vibe, the smell afterwards. Vasana is that vibe that you give off after your karma. And this vasana goes into millions of people's consciousness simultaneously. Even the trees, the grass absorbs the vibration and frequencies that carry information from your voice and your doings. The more that we stay in this present moment, we will be stressed before we see something because our brain automatically does input, output of a situation, how it's going to be done and how we're going to do it. And it's a lot of information being accumulated at one time. And if we can let that stress be and be in the present moment and just do, that's whenever the brain is learning and you acquire the lesson at a more efficient rate, more blissful, it's more joyful. It'll be stressful at first. Everything is stressful at first until you get into it from a small to a high level of stress. I like to exercise. I do breath exercises, do yoga, and this stuff stresses my mind out. Like right now, I'm used to this position, the lotus position, and it stresses my mind out. Like right now, it's stressing my mind out. But use divine masculinity, take it with a grain of salt, and you learn something. Let your imperfections be imperfect so that you can learn. Lose to win, fail to win. There's no difference. There is no good or bad. What you give off into the universe is beautiful no matter what it is. You are learning, you are going, you are stepping. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself credit. You're doing great. Stop listening to the judge within that judges you and everything else. Your mind is bullshitting you. Don't listen to it. It's trying to perceive the past and future. But if you transcend that duality, you'll be here and now. And your ego will work for the higher self. Peace and love to all. Namaste. Have a beautiful day wherever you're at in the world. Do practices that stress your mind out in the now so that the ego can work for the higher self. Blessings to all.